Hey everyone, I'm AdamHarry with
JayArr.
We're from BoLS, and today we have the two brand new Warhammer Underworlds Warbands. We've got Thundrik's Profiteers
and Ylthari's Guardians.
That's right, and this again are these two are the last two Warbands to come out for this season of Warhammer Underworlds.
Yep.
These are the last 2 out of 8 warbands, so hitting the NightVault. So we're pretty pumped about these.
Yeah, you get Caradron Overlords and Sylvaneth, both of whom will be showing up in the Mirrored City for the first time, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why too, because there are treasures there.
There are.
But it's kind of hard to get out once you get in, so I'm very curious to see how this is all going to go down.
All right, well, let's take a look.
Hey, let's do it. Let's start with the Thundrik's Profiteers, the Caradron Overlords.
I like these guys a lot. They're kind of a cool, synergistic team. They are Profiteers, and the warband runs a bit like a business.
Look at that.
Look at these guys.
All right. Well,
here, let me take a look at these.
We've got the instructions. JayArr, can you get the cards out for me there?
Yeah.
And we'll take a look at the sprues. Plus, we've got the assembly instructions. These are very straightforward. These are kind of easy to build models, as you can see. Most of the pieces are not quite snap fit, but they do have pegs, so it makes it real easy. All the instructions, use some plastic glue. These guys are going to stay real tight. So, let's take a look at this sprue first. And you can see the detail. First off, what's striking to me is the color of plastic they used.
Yeah,
which is that kind of shiny gold.
It's Urgold, you might say.
Urgold, maybe, yeah. So
or Aether Gold is maybe the one that they're after. I don't remember.
They're after something kind of gold.
They like gold. They like magic. Gold. They like metal.
I love gold. And the Caradron Overlords. They're yeah, they have their own bases included as well, which is a theme we've seen carried out throughout the Underworld
and
warbands.
There's some pretty cool bases, and they've got that sweet Caradron Overlords aesthetic. Lots of
kind of steampunk.
Yes,
dwarven
magic
pirate, air pirate kind of guy.
Magic guns and all that stuff. So it's pretty sweet.
Pretty easy to build too, like I mentioned earlier. Most of the stuff has pegs and then holes that you're going to be aligning. If you use a little bit of plastic glue to assemble these, your models are going to stay together pretty much forever. And there's the warlord himself, Thundrik. You can see he's got the floaty floaty bits going on there.
Bjorgen Thundrik.
That's a cool looking set, man. I gotta say,
set.
I kind of want to put these together just to see what they're going to look like.
Right. Speaking of cool looking stuff, let's
cards.
Take a look at that. So we've got there's the faction deck.
Yeah.
That is Thundrik's Profiteers.
And real fast, show that card off. This is going to have their symbol. As you can see, it's the mask of the Caradron Overlords.
Yeah.
So that's going to be their set cards, and we're going to go through each. Here we have Bjorgen Thundrik. We're not going to go through all these cards. We are going to show off just the warband real fast.
Yeah. So let's. One of the ways, in fact, the way that they work is they become inspired when you score an objective. If Bjorgen is still around, because he promotes people, and that's what makes him inspired. So
there's the inspired version there of Deadeye Lund. Deadeye Lund, who's now inspired.
As you can see, he's got a pretty devastating ranged weapon. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. It's hard to promote them if you're not prepared for it, but the cards in this deck will help you be prepared for it.
Yeah, and then here's the next guy here. Yep. We're going to keep going. Each one of these sets, as we've seen in the past, has a complete deck. We're not going to go through all the cards, but these decks are customizable to a certain extent. The more decks you collect, the more you can customize with the general cards, and you can swap out some of the unique cards to build your own deck, and you end up having a very cool, very custom version of that warband. So once you get finished,
yeah, it's a pretty interesting and very tightly written set of rules that lets you put together your decks, and it all depends. You can really go for what kind of play style works best with a warband for you. Are you about scoring some fast, easy objectives? And these are the generic cards now, or the ones that are applicable to everyone. Yeah. You can do it. You have some other ones that will get you more glory later that you can build towards that as well. And as you can see, we've got other upgrades that are compatible with other armies, other sets.
And I'm wondering too, do we have the unique set item here? The one that if you collect all of them, you can run your deck. It's probably in this set. Let me flip through these real fast.
Almost certainly.
But yeah, they're a cool looking set. Let me see if I can find the one.
Yeah, see if you can find it. It is a pretty sweet looking set. There's a ton of cool stuff to get into. I really like the way that the mechanics work because it's all about synergy. But as you can see, like some of it's about knowing who works and who doesn't. Because some of your cards, when they're not inspired, are pretty good, and some of them are kind of less exciting. But that's you're only getting 5 of them, and in a game of NightVault, you only have 4 things you'll do. You have 12 activations total over the course of the game, so you need to rely on their teamwork to get the most out of them. And like, I think it's Gerard Ellenson, for instance, is just sort of your basic cannon foddery type of guy. But in a game where you only have 5 fighters, even cannon fodder is valuable to a certain extent.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, they work together. Yeah. It's a very synergistic army that's going to need everybody pulling their weight. But then having those guys that can just be chump blockers is super handy. Let's take a look at the Guardians up next.
All right.
Okay. Let me clean these up.
Yeah, I've got the box open here.
All right.
Get out of here, you dwarves. It's elf time.
Elf time. Ooh, look at that.
I like
plastic.
this green. That's pretty sweet.
All right, same deal here. I'll take a look at the sprues first.
All right, and I'll go ahead and open up the cards. Let me leave you with the instructions if you want to take a look at them.
Sure thing. Again, same deal. Same kind of system. Not a big shock here for you folks. More pegs and slots to make sure everything fits tight. All right, so let's take a look at the first sprue. I'm actually really curious about this. I'm going to butcher this. Ylthari? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, I think
Ylthari
that's right.
Guardians, because these are the first Sylvaneth models we've seen in a very long time. Brand new models.
I like the look of them. They kind of have this like...
They have a Swamp Thing vibe going on.
Like a swamp... a swamp ghost thing going for them, I would say. Because they're not... especially when you see the art, but they look just a little bit like here. I want to show you the back. They look just a little bit spectral, but I don't think they are.
Right. Well, they are wood spirits essentially that have infused. They've got the spirits of the elves and the woods,
right?
All that fun stuff, just kind of fused in an army. It's a neat faction, the Sylvaneth in general, but just the wood spirits and kind of harkens back to the old school dryads, but with more of an ethereal portion to their bodies. But you can see here, this is the other side of that sprue. It comes with their own bases, and again, super detailed. Again, a good call out to their old dryad forms from previous editions. But again, like JayArr was saying, they do have that etherealness to them. It's just, these are really kind of intense trees. Here's the next sprue. And you can see here, crazy looking axe. The body work on these is just phenomenal. Just the amount of detail.
Glorious. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of leaves and rambles and roots coming out of everything.
Right, and they'll make a great addition to your Sylvaneth army already too.
Oh my god,
so
yes.
We are expecting to see rules for these come out eventually for use also in Age of Sigmar.
All the other Underworld NightVault card or models just became individual Age of Sigmar releases. So
exactly. Wouldn't be shocked.
It's just a matter of time before it happens with these guys. And
right.
It'll be pretty sweet.
Let's take a look at those cards real fast.
All right. Speaking of, here's the Ylthari Guardians cards. As you can see, they have a leaf motif going for them.
Yep.
It tells you all about them. You get a look at the warband themselves, which starts off with elf name, a Revenant Archer. Mm-hmm. Then there's elf name of the Glade.
You're right. It's elf name. I'm not even going to try to butcher these names.
Then just elf name.
Yep.
And you'll notice that all of them become inspired whenever they would be healed or have a wound removed from them. And this works whether they're injured or not.
This is the leader.
And that's Ylthari, the leader.
And if I'm not mistaken, she's also a wizard.
She is also a wizard. And there's a lot of magic in this because, as we mentioned, they become inspired whenever they'd be healed, even if they're at full health.
Oh, cool.
So there's a lot of ways for them to heal in all of their different gambits and upgrades and spells and stuff.
They have quite a few spells, a lot of upgrade options within them. within their specific deck. And like we were saying earlier, there are deck customization options here, so that you can really tweak this army and make it your own. And it also plays very different depending on which cards you draw. So your games can change drastically based on your initial card draws.
And they are one of the more magical armies in the game. Here's a look at some of their universal cards, which have heavily featured a lot of the new magical rules and stuff. Well, I guess they're not new because this season's been out for a while, and these are the last of it. But they really make use of it. As you can see, there's a lot of different stuff in here. If you are running a wizard-heavy deck or army, this might be a pretty cool one to check out.
Yeah, as you can see, tons of spells. We're just making a mess on the table. That's a whole lot of stuff to look at. JayArr's just gonna pick them up like a poker game. Just everybody folded. Anyway, that's everything in these two boxes. Again, Thundrik's Profiteers
and Ylthari's Guardians.
They are out soon, if not by the time you watch this video. Go check them out. They're great additions to the game for Warhammer Underworlds. And again, they are the last two teams to Warbands for the NightVault season.
Now it's time to get pumped for Season 3.
Maybe. Bum, bum, bum. Anyway, I'm AdamHarry.
I'm JayArr.
We're from BoLS Souls.
Thanks for watching.
Click to subscribe. Check out more videos. And thanks for watching.